Alright, what's up guys? Today's video is about how to be motivated. One of the main points that I want to drive home with motivation is that it is all about momentum, okay? So I know some people, you may look around and you see certain, maybe some of your friends or certain individuals or maybe certain athletes or just people out in the world, and you see them as naturally motivated. And I think maybe there's a little bit of something to that within yourself, that people have certain traits that maybe make them a little bit more motivated than somebody else. However, most of it is just all about momentum. And what I mean by that is that once you start doing things and finding ways to motivate yourself and getting on a roll, then things become easier for you, and it's easier for you to stay motivated on a daily basis. Think about it like this. If you build positive momentum, then that leads to motivation, and it will be harder for you to be slowed down or overwhelmed by everything that's going on if you already have momentum pushing you in a forward direction. So think about like a running back in football, okay? Marshawn Lynch is like a perfect example for this. So if you ever look up some of his highlights, like he has two runs in particular. There's one against the Saints and one against the Cardinals, where he just goes and basically just flattens the entire team of the opposing team and just runs them over because of all the momentum that he builds up through his strength and through his speed. His legs are always moving and his arms are moving forward as well if he's like pushing somebody off. So think about motivation like that the more you're moving forward, the more power, the more speed that you can get, then the greater things you can overcome, the farther you can get, and the more you can just keep rolling once you get going. The other thing is that momentum can change your mindset. So get back to our Marshawn Lynch analogy. So I'm a running back, and if he's just standing there still, he's not going to feel as confident about his ability to get past the defenders or overcome the obstacles in his way. However, once he's running, his confidence is going to be a lot higher, and he's going to feel a lot more like, hey, I can take anything on. So that motivation can be the same way, in that when you gain momentum, then you're going to start to feel like, hey, this thing that I didn't think that was possible before, now it kind of seems like I could be able to do this. So with that said, how do you get started? How do you gain momentum that leads to motivation? There's a lot of ways you can get started, and the first bit of advice I will give you is to start small. Start with little things, and that will help you build and sort of get on a roll. Think of it sort of like a snowball, where you start small, but eventually as it rolls down the hill, it can get bigger and bigger. And another thing with that is the 5-minute rule, which I've mentioned in one of these, another one of these videos that I've made. But basically what it is that if you notice something that needs done and it takes less than 5 minutes to do, then you go ahead and do it right then without putting things off. You just, well, it's only gonna take me, a few minutes to do this. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this. All right, second point. So first we wanted you to start small. Second thing is to start early. So the longer that you're sort of sitting there and you're not gaining momentum, the harder it's going to be for you to start gaining that momentum and moving forward. So think of that kind of like you're standing on the beach and you're right at the edge of the water, and if you stand there for long enough, eventually your feet start to sink in the sand, to where the longer you stay there, the harder it is for you to get up and move. All right, another thing you can do to gain momentum and motivation is to challenge yourself. So try there's a lot of 30-day challenges out there. Maybe you want to try a shorter one, maybe like 5 days or 10-day challenge with something that you enjoy. It could be something like a 5-day photography challenge, or a 5-day journaling challenge, or a 5-day workout challenge. You don't even have to find one that's 5 days. You could find a 30-day one and just do, your goal is just to do the first 5 days of it. This can be a way to challenge yourself and get yourself going, and to, like I said, build some momentum and feel some accomplishment of, hey, I challenged myself and I completed this. So once I do this, then I can move on to the next thing. Another way to get yourself going is to get going or get moving. So sometimes to help our mind get rolling and to help us feel motivated, it helps to physically move around. So that could just be going for a walk. It could be something as small as getting up to get a drink of water. It could be playing with a pet. You could listen to some music and dance. You could run outside and check the mail, organize your backpack. You could cook. You could do a little bit of cleaning. You could do a workout. Something to get you moving, and that might help you gain momentum and gain some motivation. Another way to get yourself started and gain some momentum and gain some motivation is to listen to music or watch an inspirational video. So listen to some music that sort of pumps you up, or watch a video where somebody's giving an inspirational speech, or maybe just some type of video that's relatively short that can just kind of get you going and maybe get you in a mood where you're ready to get some things done and be motivated. Another tip is to dress for success. So something as small as, lacing up your sneakers, or just changing into a new set of clothes, maybe a favorite shirt or something. That might be enough just to give you a little change and get you started and get you going. You can make a to-do list. So if you want to be motivated and gain some momentum, go ahead and make out a list. And keep in mind what we said before about starting small, and maybe just list some things out. This just helps you keep track of everything that you would like to get done, and it can help you hold yourself accountable for whether you're staying motivated or whether you're starting to maybe fall off a little bit. There's also the satisfaction of checking things off that list once you're done. All right, another way to build motivation is through positive self-talk. That might sound a little weird, but basically it's talking to yourself. So whether that's, not out loud, maybe it's in your head, or maybe it is out loud where you're like, all right, come on, I can do this. Like, you can do this. Or maybe you're just thinking those things. Those type of just like little pep talks you can give yourself can help you stay motivated and get through one task and go on to the next thing. All right, it's also really important to be able to recognize whenever you're kind of in a rut and maybe your motivation is fading, you're feeling like it's hard to get yourself going. Try to recognize that and realize when it's happening and find some ways to get out of it. Whether that be, any of the things that we mentioned before, whether that's, getting moving or starting small or listening to some music or watching an inspirational video, whatever it might be, notice, hey, I'm not feeling motivated and I really would like to get out of this. Like, what can I do to find ways to make myself feel more motivated and gain this momentum? And if you're having trouble with that, then get some help from friends and family. So ask them to hold you accountable whenever they see you maybe sliding a little bit and they see you being kind of unmotivated. Ask them to check in on you. Ask you, hey, what's going on? Like, are you all right? I've seen that your motivation has really been falling down. Like, is there something that we need to talk about? Really ask people that you care about to check in on you, because sometimes whenever our motivation is fading, it's due to maybe a mental health concern. Maybe you're feeling sad about something, or maybe you're angry about something. Recognize that your feelings can have a lot to do with your motivation, and set a support system around yourself so that way people can help you out and you're not the only one that is solely in charge for your motivation. All right, last thing is to celebrate your successes. So in order for you to keep your momentum going, you're going to have some checkpoints where you look back and say, hey, like, I'm doing a good job. And that feeling then helps you keep going and moving on to the next thing and staying motivated and continuing your momentum. If you never congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back a little bit, then it's going to be hard for you to keep going. So try to reward yourself and also reach out to others and recognize whenever they're doing great things and having accomplishments. All right, so I hope that has helped you maybe find ways to either start being motivated or stay motivated. And just remember that it is all about momentum. All right, take care, everybody.